who serves to begin. Misha was out there yesterday, at least in the early part of the match, supporting Sasha. He goes by Sasha. His name is Alexander, up in the upper right there. And there's a little brother there to support big brother today. It's nice.
Well, he's won a lot of respect and fans too, Alexander, with his effort against Nadal. Tough loss, but one he'll, I presume, learn from and improve because of.
4 or 5 years ago, Misha was showing anybody who would look videos of his younger brother saying how great Sasha, who's 15 at the time, was going to be eventually. Bragging on him, saying he's going to be #1 someday. Well, if he calms down. He was kind of crazy back then. He's calmed down a little bit.
This may be hard to believe, but when my great rival Bjorn Borg was a teenager, he used to get riled up and go crazy in some tournaments, and his parents suspended him, wouldn't let him play a tournament for 6 months.
That's a severe grounding.
And that may explain part of why you never saw him utter a word his whole career. Didn't want to get pulled off the court again. That's good court coverage by Zverev there. Unfortunately, he didn't do enough with the ball. I mean, he looked to me like he could have put that away.
He's 6'3", about the same size as Murray. Not as tall as his younger brother, who goes 6'6", but it's a family of athletes.
Left for service.
Inside the court, dictating most of the rally.
Or I suspect that in the baseline rallies, that's what's going to happen the great majority of the time. Not when Zverev serves, because he's going to move forward. I thought I had a short backswing on my forehand.
It's funky, isn't it?
He starts his motion right at his waist. Barely takes the ball back at all. Hard to generate a lot of pace the way he hits it.
That's another similarity to Murray's big brother. Jamie has kind of a slap forehand like that and prefers to spend time at the net. I'm wondering if Zverev, as this match wears on, John, will try to take the net when Murray's serving points like that. He kind of had a chance, but Murray holds.
Yes, would be the answer. He's got no shot if he's going to try to exchange from the baseline. He's uptight, obviously. This is a huge, biggest match he's ever played. So he's got to get those nerves out of the system, the butterflies, and when he starts getting in this groove of moving forward, I fully anticipate. I can't imagine his father and everyone around him, his brother, would be saying, look, let's work it out around the baseline, see what you can do with him there.
No, they know better than that. We'll begin to see the serve and volley game right now of the lefty. Murray, though, doesn't he love a target? It's so hard to serve and volley against him. Maybe the hardest guy to do it against.
Yeah.
Can't think of many tougher.
Well, you can think of one guy, but that's the problem he's faced with. Doesn't hit the serve with tons of pace, so you would think Murray's going to have pretty good looks at these.
And nearly the same pace as his younger brother, that's for sure. That was 119. Not bad.
One thing about Lendl is he's very thorough with his advice to Murray and studies opponents carefully. And if you saw him play Isner, for example, or pretty much anyone, he gets very close to the net after that first volley. So he's susceptible to lobs, and guess what Murray does really well? Hit the topspin lob.
I guess when you serve and volley, John, you'd know you have to be committed to the tactic. You're going to get past. He continues to come in, even down love 30 on that serve.
No question about that. That with these guys this good, that's a given. Sometimes, to me, I have not watched him a great deal, but certainly in that Isner match, and that probably had something to do with Isner's passing shots, but he was really getting very close. Don't think he can get away with that with Murray.
Come up with a couple of nice serves against Isner. Zverev saved a couple of match points, so it adds to your idea that this is gravy. There's really nothing to lose. Very, very close to being out the door, down 2 sets to love. Lost a couple tie breaks and then had to win the fourth in a tie break, and then 9-7 in the fifth over Big John. Right on cue. You ask for the lob, you get it.
Well, I like to see it. It's one of the most annoying shots as a server volley to watch it go over your head. Ivan did that to me one U.S. Open match where he burned me like 15 times. And Chang did it. The one time I lost to him, he did the same. You lose that little speed to spring back because you have to be equally fast. You think you need to backwards or forwards or sideways. You know, it's hard. That's why the best serve and volley players don't stand on top of the net, because they realize it's a little harder to go backwards than forwards or sideways, you know, cutting angles off, moving, and your momentum going forward.
Early break point.
Obviously, a lefty loves to hit that serve to open the court up. And that had to be placed on the outside of the line as Murray's looking for it. And you mentioned he doesn't have the pace of his brother, so you force him to go up the middle. The one good thing for Zverev is this court is playing faster than it's played since I've watched or can remember. I mean, it is really moving through the court, so that helps him a lot.
Some people think, you know, our experts like Brad Killer, as you see Sasha there, that Misha's volleys are among the best in the world. His game isn't well known. Obviously, his results haven't been there, but in that particular area, they feel he's as good as anyone. Murray he pondered that question when I asked him, but he certainly has a ton of respect for the guy's skills. I don't think he was ready to say he was among the best in the world.
I think that he's, you know, certainly up there, but the other parts of his game are so far behind. And I bet you Murray thinks he's a better volleyer than him. I bet he thinks Nadal's better, and I bet he thinks Djokovic. I bet he thinks Federer.
If so, he withheld those opinions, but he said that Misha has to play a lot of tough volleys because they're not necessarily the most imposing serves. So he's coming in and playing a lot of difficult volleys, at least in his view.
15-0.
Murray has improved his serving as the tournament has gone on. Did not serve well against Marchenko. Kind of a sketchy first round performance. First two sets were very tight, but then he has been dismantling his last two opponents. Took care of the Russian Teen Rublev very routinely, and then straight sets over Sam Querrey.
All right, there's no doubt he's playing better as this tournament's progressed, and this is a great matchup for him. This reminds me when I played a guy like John Fitzgerald. I don't know if people know him, but you know, he didn't have a big serve, great volleyer, you know, and came forward, and you're going to get a lot of chances to hit returns. And he could hang for a while, but eventually, time after, because this guy Murray's going to make him work incredibly hard. It's going to be a major success if he can win a set.
40-15.
There he comes in off the return.
I see Fitzgerald doing some commentary, some interviews out there.
I guess if Andy can do this, you just have to say, too good, right?
Absolutely. You can try different areas. You can go up the middle, try to cut off angles. That I always felt as an attacking player and was told and believed to this day that on bigger points, break points, that's tougher to start to hit those difficult passing shots. He's an excellent athlete, Zverev. You can see that he's skilled moving around the net. His around the court. His backhand's better than his forehand. And it's all about pressure, you know, picking the right moments to move forward and attack and try to get a guy to blink or choke. Murray, you can see his plan, which makes total sense. Keep him moving, running, working hard on a lot of points so that he'll wear down eventually. Well, that is a nice job.
Comes into the backhand that time and gets to deuce, which is all you can hope for. Give yourself an occasional chance in a Murray service game.
Well, there's one of those tough volleys right there. And I'm sure that he's aware that he's going to get a lot of lobs.
Advantage Murray.
That's a huge serve. Biggest one of the day by far. Early, but still some pop.
131.
Incredible that Murray would play either Nishikori, who he lost to at the Open, even though he's a big favorite, still would be, or Federer for of all people in the court. What do you think?
Nishikori and Federer tonight. We'll talk a bit about that match as we move forward here on serve, early stages. Beautiful warm Sunday afternoon here in Melbourne. Men's round of 16 underway today. Andy Murray, odds makers favorite, world #1, and a chance if he wins this title to really stretch the lead over Novak Djokovic, of course, who was knocked out in stunning fashion in the second round by Easterman and had 2,000 points to defend. Give you a little assessment of the ranking system as we move forward in this first set. I know many of you are familiar with it. Some of you probably aren't. It can be a little complicated at times
Players are ready.
with the points and how they're piled up over the 52-week calendar. But
Any seat of honor,
Murray
ladies and gentlemen.
can
Thank
leave
you.
Melbourne with a commanding lead over number 2 Djokovic, and we'll fill you in on that.
Well, you can see the gap between the 2 and 3.
Yeah, we'll show you that in a
Any
second.
seat, gentlemen. Thank you.
Murray will not play until everybody is comfortably seated.
15 left.
Currently, Murray has lead over Djokovic that's less than 1,000 points, but obviously every round you add up more and more points, and they're worth a lot more at the majors. And if he wins, John, look at the lead. It's a significant lead over number 2.
I believe that Novak's was 6,000 after
Yeah.
the French.
That was really significant.
So things can change, as we've watched the last 6 months, rather remarkably.
Not to get too far ahead, but Murray has told us that he wants to place a big emphasis on doing much better at Indian Wells and Miami, those Masters events where he didn't succeed, and Novak won both of them last year. So Djokovic with 1,000 points to defend at each tournament. Murray knows if he can do well in those two, talk about building a monster lead.
Then it would reverse, after Wimbledon, say, or
Exactly.
after the French. Somehow
He'd have a lot of work to do in the second half of the year, for sure.
Murray's chosen to try to take the ball early, not take a big swing, more or less block it low. He seems content early to do that. You see that very short, almost like a bunt, to just get it low.
That cord caused an awkward shifted position for Zverev.
Well, awkward, but still not a shot he should have missed. Those are the ones that come back and haunt you, get you in the end, especially against the guy this good. You see, because you got slightly hesitant the next point, and then another ball, which is certainly tougher but makeable. You miss that too. So now you're blood's starting to boil for Zverev if he loses this point, because that is a shot he should have made. Or maybe I'm speaking for myself. I think when I played, if I had done that.
Break point.
'Cause I can certainly relate to what he's doing by serving and volleying. It's just pleasure to see
Was the
someone doing
confidence
it.
in your volley that fragile, like shot to shot? If you've missed a couple, even though you'd made 10,000 before?
I wasn't that fragile, but my temper was fairly short.
I remember that, yeah.
A little upset at myself.
It's another net cord that works in Murray's favor.
He's aiming like an inch over the net, so that often happens where it looks like luck, but he's trying to hit it just over the net. So most of the time, if it does hit the net, it will go over. Not that you can plan for that. There's the break.
That time the server just laid in without much on it. 105, and Murray just makes him pay.
He's actually, Chris, hit most of his serves at that pace. And remember, he was 35 when he flailed on that forehand. That would have been 45. I mean, this is.
You said that would haunt him in the game, and he did.
He can't afford against a guy that's this sharp, this good. Then you get negative more quickly. Again,
15 left.
I don't want to only speak for myself, but just watching guys, and then fatigue will, some fatigue. You'll start, the body and the mind will allow you to, it seeps in that you've played a lot of tennis, so all these other factors come into it to send you into a tailspin.
30 love.
I would say quieting the mind would be important for any athlete, but especially a tennis player, right? When you're out there by yourself, you have no one to encourage or coach you directly. That internal dialogue seems to be so powerful in this sport, maybe more than others. Golf, I guess, would be another example.
I saw Henrik Stenson when we played in Orlando. Jim Courier does the tour, and
40 love.
their ranking system is done on the 24-month, the golf system. It seems like a
We're
long
forgiving.
time to keep points.
Yeah.
For the top players, if you have a bit of a bad patch, it gives you more time to get it together.
I think some have
40,
suggested
15.
some of the top players, Rafa maybe mentioned that idea, but that didn't have a lot of traction.
And the golf should be looked at carefully because they also, they go by prize money, and that simplifies all these rankings. This the rankings for the Masters, the end of the year tournament. There's ATP rankings, which is what the players certainly look at more carefully week to week. Until just before the time where the last 8 guys make it. Have I
Slap
confused
up the
everyone
line.
enough?
Well, back in your day, and until the 90s, they had bonus points. So if you beat a higher ranked player, for example, in this round, you wouldn't just get the points for winning in the 4th round. You get bonus points based on the ranking. They did away with that. That was pretty complicated. Now it's a
I
little
like that,
simpler
though.
now.
I like to get bonus when you got bonus points.
It makes
for
sense,
tickets.
actually.
Yeah,
But it just became super complicated to figure it out for the layman.
as if the layman gets this one.
It's good. Ah, what a point. Zverev finally has the last word. And gets back to deuce. He's having to work hard to win points.
Yeah, I mean, that was a long rally, the longest of the match. He's handled that let cord well. I mean, he's 40 love down. I mean, it's very unlikely that he's going to be able to capitalize on a game like that against someone this good. Not that he shouldn't keep trying. So then try not to get down 40 love if you can help it. Because the odds of you breaking are so slim.
Advantage.
Standing close there, but got handcuffed on that forehand return. Such a, as you pointed out, abbreviated, funky-looking take-back.
If there's any guy that shouldn't bother, that getting handcuffed with that ball is him, the way he hits it, because that's where his racket is. Other guys are way up, above, coming around. He's just right there.
It is interesting. I mean, the dad coached tennis, and maybe that is not the classic technique that Misha has.
That's a good job again.
He can play at the net, though, can he? Wow. But the technique for his younger brother is so different. Was basically no resemblance in their game at all.
No.
10 years apart, so that's perhaps a factor. But you're in Patrick's game, for example, not the same.
No, I mean, it's become pretty clear, even though there's a
Stylistically.
lot of great one-handed backhand players, that, a lot when kids were growing up, they're so young that they'd have to go to two hands. So automatically, with the increase in power in rackets and the start of these strings starting to change years ago, now it's gone crazy the last few years. Look at this. Might be proven wrong if he gets this break from 40 love.
Well, one thing, John, with the short takeback, he can crowd the plate like that. Murray not ready for that return again.
That's exactly why the body serve shouldn't work that well against Zverev.
First look at a break point.
Actually, the serve he prefers, the kick serve, will be more effective. The one that gets up higher.
Deuce.
Got 4 aces already.
Advantage Murray.
Murray, to me, has become even more dangerous because of the fact he's been more willing to move forward. Because I think he's could be a great volleyer.
An overhead drill for a minute there.
This is like Barami when we played yesterday. Short lops. You got to hit him a little deeper.
Yes.
It was a gag. And when we played, this was actually, he wasn't able to get the ball deep.
Misha hanging tough in this game. You feel like this is going to be his best chance in the set to break. Needs to try to find a way to get back on serve. Great return. Wow.
That backhand's sharp.
He just poked at that too, right? Not a big take back either.
That's right.
Advantage
Look
Zverev.
here. Got some strong wrists. And then that's just the right move. You know, the moment, the second you see that Murray's going to go to the one hand, sprint forward. This would be an unbelievable effort if he could break. Way back when it was 40 love.
What a game by Zverev. You're right. It looked like for sure it's going to be 4-1. Lopsided set. Instead, the German battles back on serve. Big Monday over on ESPN. Doubleheader begins in the ACC at 7 Eastern. The Dukies hosting NC State. At 9 o'clock, the Red River Rivalry basketball version. Sooners visiting the Longhorns in Austin. Both games on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Good fight back here around Laver Arena. Beautiful day. It's Sunday. Misha Zverev got in a hole, was down 40 love and Murray's serve in the previous game, but battles back on serve.
Quickly, please, ladies and gentlemen.
Beautiful
Thank
day,
you.
but getting warmer, and it is toasty out there right now.
Please,
Murray by
players
breaking
are
in the
ready.
previous
Thank you.
game, which wasn't a surprise. Previous service game for Zverev. Maintained a streak, 116 straight matches. He's now broken serve at least once. Goes back to a couple of summers ago in Cincinnati in the semis when he did not break Federer in a loss.
Almost broke. The streak was almost broken against Djokovic in Doha because I was watching. It was 6-3, 5-4 match point. And serving for it, and that would have broken it because he hadn't.
Yeah,
Good
point. I think that was in his mind at the moment. I got to keep that streak alive of breaking.
That was the main thing.
30 love.
I think Murray's going to start swinging harder, you know, taking bigger swings because this is not coming in particularly hard. Doesn't need to bunt all of his returns. Good job of mixing up pace by Zverev.
40 left.
See the evening program here, 3 a.m. Eastern, Federer Nishikori, followed by Kerber and Coca Vandeweghe. Oh, on the run, Murray rips that forehand.
40-15.
Well, it takes a certain talent. Both these guys appear to have it. Nadal's probably the king, where you just don't give away points. Play every point, which is extremely hard to do. You were talking about being out there by yourself and what goes on in your brain. In this heat, Chris, especially, it's tough to just be able to go all out and
40-13.
hang in each and every point of a 3 out of 5 set match. You can see that Zverev right in front of, he's sweating rather profusely. Understandably so.
Let's first service.
You know, points are shorter when you serve volley, but the spring necessary to attack the net takes its toll.
85 degrees is the air temperature right now, Mubber. It gets much warmer on the court, of course. Not much breeze today. And the breeze doesn't get in Rod Laver Arena nearly as much as some other big stadiums.
Again, Zverev.
So Zverev able to back up the break and get even at 3 games all.
3 against all.
Pavlyuchenkova in the all-Russian match over Kuznetsova. Getting set to start in a little while over on Margaret Court Arena. Sam Wawrinka against the Italian veteran Seppi in the round of 16.
Seppi be satisfied after beating the Kyrgios in 5 and backing that up.
And Stan has a way, as these majors progress, of playing better and better as the matches get bigger. He keeps it together. You certainly wouldn't bet against Wawrinka being in the semifinals this half of the draw. Tsonga and Evans, the other round of 16 match on that section. Evans is Murray's good buddy from Great Britain, but Tsonga goes in as a solid favorite in that match.
This guy Evans has proven that, you know, you could look like you're down and out, like Zverev. Debatable if you're going to continue your career, and all of a sudden, look where he is and what's happening.
Reformed bad boy in British tennis, they call him. Oh, he gets a break. And you enjoy watching Zverev's game, John. It's interesting. It's so unusual from what you see.
So typical with what I grew up with, and so rightly so unusual now. A man after my own heart, for sure. A lefty who's got a funky forehand, likes to chip the backhand serve volley. Testing Murray. Gave that away too soon. All of a sudden, this guy's got a chance for a lead.
All of a sudden, maybe the funkiness of this game that we thought Murray would be used to seeing. Maybe it's affecting his shot selection.
I just think his levels dropped. I mean, he was 3-1-40 love up. I mean, there's just no excuse for losing your serve from that position.
Two break points to really turn this set around. Zverev giving himself a talking to, falling way behind the baseline at that point.
Well, I guess who will give himself a talking to if he loses this point? Murray.
Nice job leaning on that backhand. And another break point saved.
Surprised that on neither of the two break points he chose to move forward. It looked like there was some opportunity to do it. We talked about it being gravy for Zverev to be here. Then he's getting beaten pretty handily. And so he's thinking this is gravy to even be in this set in a way. And so he's relaxed and playing a lot better than he was earlier.
Lefty hooks that pass beautifully.
Another shot he benefits from having the short backswing. You know, he hustles. He covers the court well. He doesn't need to take the big wind up. That's a natural, typical shot for him. Tremendous pass.
I'm liking watching the forehand swing. I know it's so unusual, but the way he can brush the outside of the ball and flick it, and then that time got around it. The wrist skills.
Yeah, he's got great wrist skills, no question. The only thing he can't really do is hit it that hard.
He found an angle with that one. Sure. Apologizes for the miss hit, but he'll take it.
So sorry, I hit a tremendous angle there.
No, obviously you'd prefer other guys' forehands if you were building a game. I'm just saying I enjoy watching what he's doing.
I'm enjoying the fact he's playing the best he can up to his ability. It's turning out to be a rather interesting first set.
He's got Murray engaged. He's had to battle just to avoid being down a break. Murray able to dig out of trouble. But still on serve, and a very entertaining opening set here on Rodley Burbank. Visited with Murray and said, you know, I think of you as a guy that's always climbing and improving and chasing, because that's what he's done his whole career. Now at number 1, does this perspective feel different? He said, no, not at this event, because he still feels like he's chasing something he hasn't done, which of course is when an Aussie Open title. Been so close 5 times.
And then he'll say, I haven't won the French, so that he can chase that. And then he can say, well, so-and-so Becker won Wimbledon 4 times. You know, that's the way to try to keep a little of the pressure off, because Lauren knows they've heaped it on him over the years in Great Britain.
Yeah, I'm sure that players do things like that to deal with pressure. I just thought that he arrives in Melbourne, his first major as the top seed as a number 1, yet feeling like there's a big mountain to climb. This is a trophy he doesn't have.
5 times runner-up. That's pretty darn amazing.
No doubt, but that also means 5 times on the second Sunday he's standing there with the less impressive trophy, having to watch. Usually it's Novak 4 times raise the nice trophy.
And now that a lot more pressure's been heaped upon him, because he can't even say, look, you know, I have a losing record against Novak. He's won it 6 times. I mean, it's really, he's a major favorite to win this. Even with that Federer guy lurking in his quarter.
Yes. Another look at that graphic, because it's impressive. Murray at the Australian Open not losing to anyone other than Djokovic or Federer since 2010. So that's a pretty long time. 41-0. The other 2 guys have been a problem.
That's, he keeps putting himself there, and you know it's not his fault
15-13.
that Djokovic has tailed off. It's like people say who's the greatest of all time, and I've gone with Rafa, that is, and Roger, and I've gone a little bit both ways. But ultimately, you sort of stick with Roger, because it's not his fault that, you know, Rafa was hurt or hadn't been there a lot of things, even though he's got a very poor head-to-head against him. I know a lot of it's on clay.
I thought you were going to say that Djokovic was piling up the resume, that he might enter your mind in that category if he kept at that pace. And obviously,
yeah, he's entered. By
his standards, he's struggled since Wimbledon.
I would say, you know, I'd put him in number 5, you know, in top 5 with Sampras and Rod, the guy they named this arena after. He's been quickly moving up the rankings the last few years.
So in your view, 3 of the top 5 all-time greats are in action right now, this era.
Yes, and Murray's looking to break in the top 10.
Now Murray pressuring the service box there, perhaps getting in Zverev's head. That's his first double, and it gives Murray a chance to once again go up a break. Be disappointed about that. Good work to get back level in the set. Had chances in Murray's last game to go up a break, and dumps that volley, and now Andy will serve for the set.
That isn't about he can't volley, or that he doesn't think he's a good volleyer. That's, to me, about I doubled at 30 all, and that just little tiny bit breaks your concentration. That couple percent, you throw in that Murray's fast, and the fact you had a break point in the preview, you know, all those things start coming into it.
15 left.
Order seems to have been restored.
I guess when you understand how great a returner your opponent is, that's part of it too. That's good.
Mr. Murray
Challenge from Andy.
The left near sideline. Ball was called in.
That had just slapped up the line forehand.
Yeah, well, that didn't have a lot on it, that serve, at all.
Beautifully controlled.
15-0. Mr.
I'd
Murray
use
has
his
two
kick
challenges
serve.
remaining.
He's giving Murray trouble with that abbreviated forehand return.
He keeps hitting the same serve to him. Pretty much the same thing's happening. He's got another option. He could just back off the first serve pace and just get a first serve in.
You think the kick would be able to get up quick enough to make that short hop return too tough to hit?
I'd like to see it, just to see. I'm not sure how quickly he'd react.
He says, I'm going to serve the backhand this time.
Yeah, right. Let's see what he does here. I wouldn't go to the forehand that time.
30-0.
He tried to creep in and take it early, but that did bounce up and give him trouble.
I would suspect it would be harder for him to handle that higher shot.
See if he stays away from the forehand again.
Let's second service.
Well,
30-14.
Surprise, surprise.
that little miss down the middle on kind of a nothing shot gives Zverev a chance to once again climb back on serve.
He's also sweating a lot. It looked like his grip got a little wet. Slipped a touch on him.
Zverev with that pass gets back on serve again. Twice Murray's been up a break. Twice the German has pulled back.
Murray leads 5-4.
Now the Zverev camp have to be pleased and proud of the way that Misha's battled back. Sasha there, the younger brother who lost it all. And next to him is Jez Green, who obviously has a lot in this match himself. He worked with Murray for years and helped build his fitness down in Miami. Now working with both Zverev brothers, who spent a ton of time in Tampa. The family has for many, many years. And Misha and Alex did their off-season training in Tampa with Jez Green. He's a big believer in weight training, not necessarily. There's a conversation, by the way, I'm listening to hear what Zverev was saying with the chair umpire, but
It's been a very long change.
I think he wanted to change gear and then said the next changeover. He is sweating a lot. Most would wait till the end of the set. Not exactly positive that was the topic there, but chair umpire told him.
Either way, that was an extended changeover. Give both guys a little extra time to think about this first set, which has been surprising. Surprisingly competitive.
To finish the point about the training, the brothers will push each other in the training as well. And Get a little competitive in the weight room and try to get stronger in the off season.
I like the slow but steady approach of Jez Green. It's going to take some time, especially for the youngster. Murray was another guy.
15-0.
Started out as a guy who's pretty scrawny and who suffered from cramps earlier when he was a teenager, and he has done a magnificent job of getting himself to a point where he's stronger, fitter, better than ever at 29.
The volley loud from Murray, floating just long.
It's actually a good idea if it had gotten in, because he needed some time to get himself back in position. Just long. Things heating up in more ways than one out here. Amazingly, it's 5-all.
Yeah, this has been more competitive, more entertaining than most would have expected, including Murray probably. 2 times having gotten up a break. Zverev crafting a way to get back on serve. Zverev's actually won 1 more point in this set than Murray.
They played once where it was an easy win last, well, close to 2 years ago on clay, which was one-sided. You can go by that result.
That's the only tour level meeting. They played as long ago as 2003 back in Murray's home country in Glasgow as a futures event, which is the lowest level of professional tennis. They've also played at the juniors US Open semis, won by Murray.
You said they knew the 12 and unders?
Yeah, that's when they first met. So they played at juniors, futures, tour, and now at a major.
15-0.
Zverev sensing and seeing that that line was pretty open. Murray had hit the inside-out forehand, not anywhere near that ball to cover.
Murray's not hitting very many quality second serves, John. In my view, in the set, he's being punished in that department. He's only won 4 of 15 second serve points. That didn't have much pace on it, the last one.
He's not coming in off the serve as much as I would have thought. And maybe Murray's surprised by that. It's sort of difficult to tell where he's hitting the forehand. It's so awkward.
So
if you're feeling a little unsettled yourself and not quite as rock solid as normal, willing to shift gears and, you know, make Zverev do something he doesn't do very often, which would be hit passing shots. He's the guy moving forward most of the time.
Moved backward and shovels that wide, and Zverev a break point to break Murray for a 3rd time in the set.
So it's 3-1-40 love. He's serving. He loses that game. He eventually gets back and gets the lead. 5-3 serves for the set. Can't get that done. I mean, talk about stealing the set if this guy were to break.
This is nice tennis to watch. It really is. Big brother, the lower ranked brother, working Murray around and will somehow serve for the first set.
Zverev leads 6-5.
On a hot day, Misha Zverev, the older brother in the left, who his younger brother Sasha says is super superstitious. Went to the sock and shoe change. He says Misha, as he's gotten more successful, started winning matches, is even more superstitious than he used to be. I mean, everything has to be just right in order.
Like Nadal?
Yeah.
Maybe he shouldn't have changed his socks then.
Good point.
Since he's serving for this.
He's got one pair of socks and shoes. It's closing time now. Go to these shoes. Interesting, this family with the brothers 10 years apart. When Misha, he's born in Russia, then the family moved to Hamburg when he was young, and that's where Sasha, the younger brother, was born in Germany. And Misha had to be part of a family that uproots, goes to a new country, says they didn't know the language, they didn't know the customs, and they're trying to make a living there. And the reason why there was a 10-year gap in the age of brothers, according to Alexander, there is that the parents didn't have enough money. They had to get a foothold in Germany, get the cash to have another kid. Older brother serves for the set now.
Seems like it worked out big time in the end, that's for sure.
Yes.
Battled through some tough times, and look what we have here, lo and behold. This guy had a herniated disc. He had all types of injuries earlier in his career. Looked like he was going to flail out, not even continue to play on the tour.
For all that stuff, he had been to the top 50 and then dropped out, but now comes in to this event ranked 50th and will move up. We'll have a new career high, whatever happens here. 2 points from the set.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, Murray up 3-1, 40 love, John. If I told you Zverev's going to come back and win the set.
I would have given you some very good odds.
Wow, what a way to finish it. Murray loses the set for the first time in the Aussie Open. Staying pretty cool in the French box there, but what a moment for Misha. A lot of work to do, but he has drawn first blood. Well, yesterday on this court, about 24 hours ago, we thought that another Zverev, the younger one, Alexander, might pull a big upset. He had Rafa all over the place. He would take the opening set.
Well, he started great, and he was dictating play most of the first 3 sets, Chris. And
He was up 2 sets to 1.
Yeah,
in the 4th set, vintage Nadal, he was able to make it physical. He took it to a 5th, John, and then it was a 37-ball rally early in the 5th set that Zverev actually won, but then he looked pretty cooked after that.
He started to cramp, it appeared, and it was all over then. I'm not quite sure what that move is, but I like it.
Talked a bit about that match. As Murray tries to get on track here, you know, he showed great will. The wheels kind of let him down. Jez Green again on the left will work with him, but you know, everybody's well aware that for Misha, long way to go. That was an hour and 3-minute first set. when we know Murray's not going to get tired out here. Talk about the wear and tear going forward of playing a serve and volley kind of game. Did you find it was surprisingly physical? People think the baseline rallies would be more taxing, but
I'm biased, but yes. I mean, I think it definitely takes its toll. And you can't afford to lose even a quarter of a step if you need to spring into action and try to cover, especially now. I mean, guys that return like this. My guy was Agassi, or Connors. These guys that would, Agassi started attacking serves. But you got guys now, 3-4 inches taller than Andre, who could, even more difficult to get the ball by.
30-15.
And could play offensive or defensive returns. So holding is not as easy as it used to be. That is for sure. Murray's starting to mumble and groan and complain to the box.
yes, he is.
Both men appear to be in superb shape. Certainly Zverev has been on the court a lot longer, plus he played doubles.
Good point.
I think he's lost. I don't know if we will. I'll try to check to see what if he's still in the event. I think he's lost already. Sometimes it's good on the off days to play a doubles match, but it can easily get complicated.
Murray making Zverev run a lot and holds. There's the Murray camp. Obviously, you got Ivan Lendl. He's the head coach. Jamie Delgado's called coaching advisor. He's down there in the front row in the red. We also have Matt Little, who replaced Jez Green as the fitness guy. You get Shane the physio. You get a performance analyst, mother, wife, Davis Cup captain, a couple of agents. It's a full house in there. The kind of modern entourage that the top stars employ.
I'll tell you, a lot different than days when we were playing. The old one-man entourage. Girlfriend or a wife, perhaps a friend, rarely a coach.
Friend box just sat empty, or did you fill it in with the?
We didn't have friend box. We fill it in with friends. They're actual friends.
Not on the payroll. What?
No.
What a concept.
Yeah. Check
the doubles draw. I wanted to make sure. I was pretty sure Zverev had lost. He was playing with Zimonjic, and the Bryans did take them out in the second round. So he played 2 doubles matches besides the singles workload, that 5-setter we talked about with Isner in the second round.
It's always that extra stress when you play with a guy who's just a doubles specialist, because that means everything to them. Like Zimonjic, he doesn't play singles, so he's ambivalent about the success of his partner in singles, because that means less focus in the doubles.
It's not being very supportive.
I know, it's just reality. bites. What was that
So
movie?
Peter Fleming was hoping you'd lose in singles?
I think that
Hesitate.
I don't want to go that far.
Murray, see if he can begin to dial up the passing shots. And we'll see if Zverev continues to have the same spring coming forward.
Peter Fleming, just for the record, did reach at one stage in his career number, I believe, 9 in the world in singles. So he was a singles player too.
He had a birthday, didn't he, the other day?
Yesterday. Happy birthday, Peter.
Yeah, there's a fluffed volley, and Murray giving himself a lot of encouragement after that point. Chances to grab a quick break. I don't know if it's a more physical or emotional, but there's a little, to me, a little sting out of Zverev's game here.
I would have thought that, okay, he made a run and battled back from 3-1 40 love, and then Murray broke him again, and that you would have thought, okay, looks like, I mean, it appeared like, well, he lost a little bit there, and then he wins the set. But it's hard to imagine he could keep this up all the way through. We've said that before. We didn't anticipate Dennis Istomin could do what he did, that's for sure.
No one.
And then he backs it up and wins again in 5 sets.
Istomin Dimitrov, by the way, tomorrow for a spot in the quarters.
I mean, you think the only chance Easterman has is that, you know, Dimitrov went to bed at 5 in the morning. You know, that could throw off his, you know, biorhythms or something.
No.
Beautiful. Zverev, he shows he's got some lob skills too, John.
He's got some real excellent hands and skills.
15-30.
Gives you a lot of different looks, that is for sure. You talked about how wristy his forehand was. He showed something there at the, with that touch with the lob. Keeps bouncing back when things start to look grim.
His whole career has been about resilience. Beginning at a young age when his parents said, guess what, we're in Germany now. And kids go, what, huh, where? Learn the language, improve, deal with the injuries you talked about. And now at 29, playing the best tennis of his life, and make the most of this chance to break back points.
Led for service.
This is starting to get extremely frustrating for Murray that he keeps letting these leads slip away.
Being for power there. Murray hit that 127. framed that short ball, kept it in the court.
I tell you, his heart leapt, the heart rate leapt for a second there. That's for sure.
This
First to let court, he goes, okay, I got this one lined up nicely. Total miss hit. Not sure it even hit string, and it dropped in.
That's the reaction they know. Little lucky for Murray to save that break point.
Advantage Zverev.
That's a missed opportunity. He knows it.
Deuce.
By the way, Margaret Court Arena, Wawrinka and Seppi are level at 3 games all. Stan got off the mark slowly, was down a break, but has gotten it back. We'll visit that court as well this afternoon. Darren and Brad Gilbert will have the call.
Advantage
Didn't think
Murray.
we'd have moments early in the second set that were so important for Murray, John, but it felt like it here. If he had once again been busted after getting the lead, you don't know, but now a chance to go 3-love. Hard work, but Murray does back up the break. Just outside Rod Laver Arena, there is a walkway there on the red. Those are the practice courts on the right of the screen. And look who has emerged on the bridge.
What's up?
Oh, you guys look lovely today. Hello, Chris and Chrissy.
Hi, Chris and John. We're on the Skywalk, and when there's not the tournament going on, the Skywalk actually connects the cricket grounds to over here in Melbourne Park. But right now, we're joined by thousands up here on the bridge, not to mention those ringing practice court 17, about 4 or 5 deep down below, because Roger Federer has taken the practice court. Federer coming up will play Kei Nishikori in just about 3 hours' time, and in fact, Nishikori follows Federer onto this practice court, Chris.
Remember earlier on the year at the Hopman Cup, when Federer first came out, he had 6,000 fans watching him. And, you know, it's interesting because a lot of the top players, they like their privacy in practice, and they like to get out there without a lot of people. But Roger just welcomes and embraces all his fans, and he likes it. I think he likes to put on a show.
He does. He thrives with the crowd, and that's one thing he said he missed during the 6-month hiatus. He missed the crowd. He missed the roar. He missed the cheer. Well, today he even got a roar and a cheer just for walking out of the locker room. The crowd really went crazy.
I mean, what I'm seeing right now with Roger while he's practicing is how relaxed he is, but he's always relaxed. I mean, he's effortless. His power is easy power. He doesn't muscle the ball, and he just goes through his repertoire, practicing every shot. And he just seems very relaxed right now because he's got a tough match tonight.
He does. He has Kei Nishikori. And if he beats Nishikori, though, it's his 200th career top 10 win. It would be really, really impressive. It's the Grand Slam of the Asia Pacific, but tonight it's not Nishikori who's going to be the home crowd favorite, if this tells us anything, Chris and John.
That's a great report. Thank you, ladies. I think there are a lot of fans who would rather watch Federer practice than watch a match. It's a great vantage point, by the way, to be able to look down the court.
That was a cool thing, and Roger is one of the few guys that doesn't mind that there's literally thousands of people watching him practice. I mean,
his opponent took a very different approach, by the way. Nishikori and Murray practiced on this court together early today before the matches began. A little unusual because it's a long time for Nishikori before the match. I'm sure he'll have a later hit, but they could also play in the next round if they both win.
you mean they were practicing together?
Yeah, right out here.
It's a little weird.
I wanted to get your reaction because it did seem a little unusual. I mean, not that they would practice together, but they could see each other in 2 days.
Well, that's what makes it unusual, because they're so close to potentially playing. I guess they know each other's games rather well, and maybe that means that Murray thinks Federer's going to win.
But a different approach, though, because those two guys, as you suggested, prefer the solitude of this court.
I'd be one of those guys that would prefer a little quiet before the storm. That's a good feel on that volley. Well disguised, didn't
30-15.
see it coming. And he definitely tried that shot. You can see him open the face of the racket to get the spin and to get the ball to drop shorter.
40-15.
Zverev playing a great match. First, well, we're closing in on an hour and a half, 122. Somehow he stole that first set. The one that he had no business winning.
When you say stole, just so people are clear, I mean, he definitely battled back and earned it. You just say stole because it looked to be lost at one point?
Maybe it sounds a little harsh, but he had no business winning that set. And Murray, for reasons that are somewhat hard to explain, let him back in it. I don't think that the level was that superior that he should have gotten back. You don't lose service games at 3-1 40 love against a guy who's not in the same league as you. But I give him a lot of credit for hanging around. He did hit some great, I mean, he rose to the occasion. So let me put it different.
Low 15.
His camp is just over his left shoulder, and they heard that little mini tirade.
That's why he has such a big camp, so they all can say, well, it wasn't me. He wasn't talking to me.
I know Lendl knows he wasn't talking to him.
We know two people, Lendl and his mom, and his wife. That's three.
Once again, one-way dialogue between Murray and his group. He's in a hole, low 30.
I'm surprised he didn't take that and hit an overhead. Looked like he could have gotten to that in time.
Wow, that's been a more effective serve. I think he's tried to amp up the pace to give that little forehand return trouble, but Zverev a good job and 3 break points to break Murray for a 4th time already today.
This is a tough one to figure.
Fifteen, 14.
Do you get the sense that Murray is searching on serve, trying to find the best weapon against the return skills of this guy?
Yeah, very fair assessment, accurate. Yeah, absolutely.
He's tried the fastball. He's tried to kick it. He's tried the body serve. That's an off-speed wide one.
30-14.
He's got a lot of clubs in the bag, I guess.
I haven't seen the kick out wide to the forehand.
wild, and that's a break. Time and time again, Murray gets a lead and can't hold it. Back on serve in the second. And John, BG's come up with this ESPN.com Courtcast question. Who wins in a best-of-5 doubles match? The Murray brothers, of course, who played together, and the Zverev brothers, who, as far as I know, haven't played a lot together. Zverev brothers have the edge here.
Well, they could play in Davis Cup.
Jamie and Andy, of course, have teamed up. They played some Davis Cup. They played the Olympics.
That would be an interesting match.
The Bryan brothers are still alive, of course, in the doubles draw. The McEnroe brothers are still alive in the Legends draw, right?
Barely, but we're 1-0.
I think the Pliskova sisters would be a good doubles team. Righty and lefty.
That's the way you want to do it.
Challenge from Murray.
This is where the Bryan brothers are. My brother. Zverev's. Pliskova, all of them, see? It works.
15 left. Mr. Murray has 2 challenges remaining.
Just a half step late, maybe getting to that one.
Well, you see a wide open court, and so you try to hustle up extra fast and make it easy, but maybe he wasn't quite where he wanted to be. He looked like he reached for it in the end. Definitely the right idea to get as close to the net as possible on a floating ball.
You know, there's another high return. Murray told me the tactic he was hoping to employ was to do that little patented dink, you know, the return with the jips and comes at his feet. I don't think he's been too successful at that yet.
Seems like Zverev's volleying better from down low than up high. But you wouldn't hit a return up high deliberately like he did. That looked like a pretty easy volley he missed.
It's relentless, this tactic. It's every point, basically, this game. Missed a couple volleys, made a couple, and Murray has a break point.
He's missed 3 volleys this game he shouldn't have missed. Guess the good news, he's still in the game.
It's going more and more to that wide serve to Murray's backhand.
Surprised Murray's getting burned by that. But that is pinpoint placement. That was a world-class return.
Advantage Murray.
Zverev did well to even hang in that point at all. That one, you can see where he was. He tried to get into the net and go on the offense, but that was not to be. Surprising amount of breaks in this match.
That's it. That's the 4th break for Murray, matching the total that Zverev has, and Andy back in front 4-2.
Murray leads 4 games to 2.
Now we'll see if he can take care of his serve, something that's been a huge struggle once he's got up a break.
As far as I know, Zverev's not known for being a great returner, so this is, extremely surprising that Murray's had this much trouble holding.
Well, he's been punished on second serve. Really made to pay.
$15. $15.
Murray's having a tough time reading where that forehand's going. He's getting pushed back a little farther than he'd like.
He usually reads things very well. Is it the short backswing? What is it about?
I think it is. It's an awkward looking. Not a lot of players, almost any that I can think, hit it like that.
I mentioned before the idea was that
15,
Jamie
15.
Murray does have a similar looking, funky forehand, so that Andy playing all those hours against his older brother, this kind of game wouldn't give him much trouble. That hasn't been the case, though. Zverev just executing really well.
That's what it boils down to, because I don't think he's surprised Murray with what he's seen. I think he's surprised at how effectively he's doing it. It's particularly when he's serving, more so than when Zverev's serving.
30.
Seems like a play that will be there all day for him if he can
40-30.
use that right. He sliced to open the court up. That's what Zverev has been doing to him on the ad court. So my argument when they say, oh, the bigger points for lefty is the ad court, the break points, well, you win the early points at deuce with those type of serves. You have the same advantage there as a righty. So why the hell are you complaining about us lefties?
That'll never stop.
So jealous of the lefties.
It's so interesting that you've had right-handers like Nadal. Angie Kerber's a natural right-hander. Pick up and play tennis left-handed, but the only thing they do left-handed.
Yes.
Of course, if that were easy to do, more people would do it, I guess.
Yeah.
Murray's had some inopportune doubles. He's had 3 of them now in the set, and that's hurt him when he's trying to stretch the lead and hold.
Let's first service.
Nice depth on the volley. Another break opportunity.
Advantage Zverev.
Every time you think Murray's finally ready to sort of take over, this guy steps up.
Exactly. You just think, well, this time certainly Murray's going to hold and stretch the lead, and Another chance for Zverev to crawl back on serve.
I mean, amazingly, if you look at that stat, he's had a lot more chances to break than, one of the greatest returners in the history of our sport. There's another break.
Wow. Murray just unable to stretch the lead. Meanwhile, at Margaret Court Arena, Darren Cahill, Brad Gilbert watching a tiebreak about to start between Wawrinka and Seppi, guys.
Okay, Chris Fowler. Yeah, interesting first set here because it was Andre Seppi who made a good start. He broke in the first game and was up 2-love, and it was a little bit of a frustrating stand for Wawrinka, but calmed things down. He's been a little more consistent from the back of the court, chipping the backhand a bit more, Brad Gilbert. He got things back on track, got the break back, and we're into a tie break. No real chances since then.
Yeah, he had a fortunate let court, but he was very irritated to start bouncing his racket, barking at the box, but he settled down, and you get the feeling this is a must-win set now for Seppi. Seppi's played very solid. He doesn't get out of his comfort level that much, but the one improvement I have noticed in Seppi, he's serving a bit bigger.
Yeah, he is. He's serving a lot more aces. In fact, in that first round, he had the most amount of aces in that first round win, apart from Ivo Karlovic at 34 aces.
And that was a career high for him. He normally just kind of throws the first serve in about 115.
These two guys have played 11 times before. It's Stan Wawrinka leading 8-3. He's won the last 3 times. But more importantly, he leads 7-0 on hard courts.
And the last time they played, the Stanimal absolutely took him to the woodshed, was at Indian Wells. There's one of those sneaky serves. Looked like it's not that huge, but found the right in the corner on the line.
A challenge here from Stan. Like it's caught the line, so 2 points to 1. Seppi leads. Remember, Seppi coming off that comeback from 2 sets love down against Nick Kyrgios, saved a match point in that one, and just as impressive, played a really physical 4-set match against Steve Darcy to win.
That's the shot where, to me, Stan is making progress. That heavy forehand. Then he can open up the court. I think that's the shot, to me, on hard courts. The backhand looks beautiful, but the forehand does more damage. He runs around a lot more backhands now than people think.
Ace number 5 for Wawrinka. Seppi, 32 years of age, comes into this event with a ranking of 89. That, of course, will shoot up. Looking to make the quarterfinals of a Grand Slam for the first time in his career. Brad, who was the last Italian to make the quarters here at the Aussie Open?
91. Beautiful play. A very interesting player, the Karate Kid. He got into this deep crouch on everything. Very interesting style. And Seppi's also trying to be the second oldest in the Open era to make the quarterfinals for the first time. Santoro was 33 when he did it.
48 majors Seppi has played before having this chance to get through to the quarterfinals. Andy Murray up top in a battle against Misha Zverev. The big one tonight, Federer, Nishikori. Tough section of the draw here.
On the bottom half, the 7 of the 8 seeds that were supposed to make it are there, other than Istomin.
All right, first real sign of positive body language from Stan in this set. He's been a little bit grumpy throughout. It's been Seppi that's been frustrating him, but has a nice lead now.
No finger to the forehead, but something tells me Fed fans are starting to sit up in their chair and take a little notice. They didn't even know there was 2 Zverev, so, it's like, could Murray go out to really open things up even more? He's playing well. That was a good cut on the forehand from the Stanimal.
dropped serve once in the match, but it's been really solid since then. He's actually only lost 6 points on serve in this set as Wawrinka.
4 came right
That's
out
right.
the gate. This would be a great response from Stan after the way he started.
Wraps up the first set for Stan Wawrinka, the number 4 seed in 44 minutes. A little clap there from coach Magnus Norman. And let's go straight back to Rod Laver Arena with John McEnroe and Chris Fowler and catch up on Andy Murray.
Hey, John and Chris, I've been watching, as you guys are. I was just thinking, do you think, John, especially that the no pace that Zverev is giving Murray, which he gives to a lot of other players, is giving him trouble thinking about should he be more aggressive or passive?
Yeah, I think that is giving him a lot of trouble. He's tried to come up with different formulas to deal with it. He's seemingly in control on a number of occasions and just hasn't seemed to be able to do it consistently enough. Rather remarkable that we're here at 7-5-4 all for Zverev, considering the chances that Murray's had to take control of this match.
Oh, twice in the first set up a break, broken back, and then broken to lose it, and then again here in the second set. Couldn't sustain the lead. Oh, it's a great forehand on the stretch.
I wish we could hear what he's saying more clearly, because it's would be entertaining if nothing else.
I think after the first point in this game, he said nothing up there, nothing, meaning wasn't a lot of support or energy coming from the box. But
What about that point?
it's a guess. Sometimes he gets annoyed when there's too much coming from the box. He wants them to be quiet.
I did his first match up for Eurosport up at top, and you could hear every word he said.
Oh, a little lucky for Murray. What a job by Zverev to get that.
Tremendous point by both these guys. What hustle by Murray. How in the world did Zverev hit that volley in? And then Murray backing it up with this, following up.
He was moving away from the court and torqued that back. A lot of net cords today. As you pointed out, both guys are going for low clearance, and there have been time and time again it's hit the tape and popped over. Murray in front. Zverev serves to stay in the second set.
Welcome back to the 2017 Australian Open.
This beautiful Sunday down under. Anything but a Sunday stroll in the park for Andy Murray. What figured to be a pretty significant mismatch, even though Misha Zverev's been playing great tennis in his late 20s. These guys will go back to playing as 12-year-olds. Murray, #1 seed, odds maker favorite. Very familiar with Zverev's game. Dusted him off in their only pro encounter, but it has been a battle out here. German neck and neck with Murray.
Admirable effort, Chris. No question by this guy.
We thought after winning the first set, it was a pretty physical hour and 3 minutes. A lot of serving and volleying, wear and tear on the body. Might lose a little energy.
We've talked about how his brother helped him get that second win and, will to battle and train and compete. Well, you look at earlier in the event, we were astounded and amazed that Easterman beat Djokovic. Well, that certainly gets guys like Zverev thinking, hey, wait a minute. I'm going to battle harder. Look what happened there. There's no question it helps the lower ranked guys.
Upset's contagious.
I think so. It just, the belief's contagious. It gives you a reason to think you can do it.
There's one of those dipping returns that made it tough for Zverev. The two-shot pass for Andy is within 2 points of the set now.
You wonder if Murray won't use more spin to dip it lower as he did there. He's been content to bun it flat. He's got so much ability to hit different type of returns.
That was a great view of how low the net clearance was there. Just got over.
I think at this stage, the way it's been going for Murray, he'd rather be returning, trying to win the set than serving.
Yep. As the set's gone on, John, he's been doing better and better when Zverev has to play a second serve. Misha's struggling now. And just like that, Murray, 3 chances.
How's that variety that I was just talking about, where he sort of bunted it off speed and came in behind it? Just totally surprised Zverev. Beautiful thing. Notice he's standing out well outside in the doubles alley to not allow Zverev to hit that slice. And he did get him to go up the middle.
40.
Still 2 more set points to deal with.
Oh, yeah. No, I thought that was going to drop in.
30-40.
Another set point gone.
Another one he had a reasonably good look at. Extremely difficult. You can't ask anything more from Zverev. He's making life somewhat miserable.
Took a rip with that return.
Advantage, Murray.
The 4th chance.
Yes.
Continues to bark at his cam, Murray. I think he's asking for more energy and more support. Best I can tell. What an escape this would be for Zverev.
It's getting physical. It's getting mental. It is extremely hot out there. And we're
It's been good from start to finish.
Yeah, less than halfway through this match.
Advantage, Zverev.
Plus, of course, Zverev wins in straight sets.
Because he's probably thinking, hey, John, I'd
Hold
like
on
to
a
wrap
second.
this up
Yeah.
in 3. Murray's going to challenge. That is huge.
Fantastic job by him to scramble out of a love 40.
4 set points saved.
Murray dared him to go up the line and up the middle, and he did.
Game, Zverev.
Incredibly, he's still in this set.
Mr. Murray has one.
Guess we should
challenge
stop being surprised.
Early stages of the second set. Wawrinka and Seppi on serve.
Let's first service.
Beautiful.
15
Thin
left.
margin, trying to hit back behind Zverev there.
Looked like it caught the back of the line. Zverev had to move to his right a little to get away from that ball on the forehand, and because of that, he was in the center of the court. Very able to pick up on that. So he really was the plan all along. You know, you get a guy to jam him, force him to his right. Gives you some options if he does move forward. Some openings.
Murray hadn't had a hold at love all match until the last 2 service games. So now Zverev will try to force a tiebreak. ESPN's got you covered. Championship Sunday, 12 Eastern. NFL Insiders for the injury updates, all the breaking news stuff. Then a 1 o'clock postseason NFL countdown with Chris Berman and the gang. Prime time at 10. John, your thoughts on Packers, Falcons, Steelers, Patriots? Got to get up early Monday morning here to watch.
Is that what? Okay.
Yeah.
How early?
I want to say it's 8 o'clock, 7:30, something like that.
I can
First
handle
one?
that.
Okay.
That should be a great day.
I'm told it's exactly 7:05 Melbourne time Monday morning. Zverev, again, impressive. Thought he might wilt. Thought the energy might dip at the beginning of the second set. Didn't happen. Murray would love, to say the least, to enjoy the lottery of a tiebreak here in the second set. Just break right here.
That's true. We'd love to get more serves like that, too. Not placed well enough.
Oh, it's great hustle. And a great shot.
The ball that he hit there didn't allow Zverev to hit the winner, so he hit the lob, but a little too short.
Just a little hesitation. Zverev maybe thought maybe that's going to go long.
You can't let those go if you have a shot at hitting it.
Ooh, right into the kitchen with some pace.
That was a sweet call, man.
Lendl has to love that shot. That was his specialty.
I can vouch for that.
So can Gilbert. He said he got tattooed a few times. And Murray quickly has set points again. This is his 5th chance. He had 4 in the last service game.
There it is.
Zverev could not escape that one. Great ones have a way of just raising a little bit when they need it. Murray really needed it there. 1-all on Rod Laver Arena. Murray just held open the 3rd set here. Wawrinka and Seppi been watching that battle in Margaret Court Arena. Just underway. Hisense Arena. Joe Tsonga against Dan Evans. France versus Britain. That's Evans there, the guy who took out Cilic. Knocked him out of the draw early on and has made a great run here. Big underdog in that match, but one of the guys like Zverev is kind of should be playing with house money.
Had match point against Wawrinka at the Open.
Right.
Just a few months ago, and Wawrinka won the thing, so this guy can play.
Oh, that return floating just on the line.
Tantalizingly slowly to allow him extra time to watch it drop in.
Murray held pretty comfortably, held at 15 to open the set. He's been holding much easier after a battle all afternoon long.
He hasn't hit the lob as well as he normally does.
30-15.
That's allowed Zverev to hang a little tighter to the net. This guy's just not going away yet. Extended break after the second change of, well, whole type bunch of things, it appears, for both guys. Unusually long break.
Both guys left the court. It was the 65th trip to net for Zverev in this match. His winning percentage is just about half and half.
You wouldn't think he'd be doing this well if that's all it was.
Game Zverev.
Does that count as a net point one, you know, serve volley, but the guy misses a return?
One game.
The serve and volley, sometimes they don't score it if you don't actually play a volley, which is not wrong. I mean, not right, but you should get credit for that.
I think you should.
So a lot of points like that in anti-service games this afternoon. Just taking that return so early, taking it to him.
15.
That was definitely taking it to him. That is not an easy shot to hit there either. Nor do I think in that case the serve that he hit was that bad.
You have great admiration for Murray's lob skills, as you just said. Though, for some reason, they're not dropping in. He's not hitting with the usual precision today.
And that's another reason that he's been frustrated most of this match. Zverev hustling forward quickly and effectively right here. I thought we'd see more of him taking the return and moving in. Seems to be hell-bent on doing that more often here in the third.
Still wants more support, more vocal.
Thirty. T30.
Much harder to take a first serve and move in on it. You're not quite sure the pace you're going to see. A much better idea with a second delivery about how hard your opponent's going to hit it.
And body serve earns Murray the hold. He comes from love 30 down. Goes up 2-1. On this Sunday, 3 men's singles matches underway right now. On serve inside Laver, early stages, third set. Wawrinka is serving to stay in the second set against Seppi after winning the first in a tiebreak. Tsonga and Evans, early stages, just 2-1 for the Frenchman. Pop you back over to Margaret Court Arena, check in with Darren and Brad as that second set nears the business end. Wawrinka now a 40-love lead to get to 5-all. I think Murray's looking across the other end. John, when is this guy going to drop his level? When is he going to begin to show the wear and tear? When is this going to get easy for me?
That's definitely what he's thinking. He's starting to wonder if it's going to happen, because this guy has been coming at him exceptionally hard for over 2 hours.
No.
Twice in a row, John, Murray has tried to pepper the pass, just blister the ball, and it's produced mistakes.
It helped him get the break. You remember at 6-5 when he went right at him. He's having more success with that than trying to use the lob. So intelligent. He's a thinking man's player out there, that's for sure. A lot of options. He's definitely trying to give this guy numerous looks to confuse him.
Again, tried to hit a pass at him. Maybe he feels like the guy's handling some of the tricky passes that I like to hit, like the dip in stuff. And he's going to rip it now.
He's going to get on to that. I mean, sooner rather than later, I would suspect. He's pretty comfortable up there. That was one of the best serves he's hit of the day. You know, closing in 120 out wide. Very tough to read that serve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two games all.
2 games off.
Meanwhile, in Margaret Court Arena, Wawrinka's got a couple break points, guys, for a 6-5 lead.
Yeah, Chris got a little bit lucky on that last point at 15:30. Stan ran around and hammered a forehand on a second serve return, and 2 shots in a row. He got 2 let cords, and then a wide forehand from Seppi. A couple of break points here for Wawrinka.
Hasn't been a break here in a while, and Stan's been fortunate this game, now trying to take advantage.
Let for service.
Oh, it's in.
Another leg
Clutch.
for it, huh?
Yeah, that's 3 in the last 2 points. 2 for Stan and 1 from Andreas, so he saves 1 break point.
That was a tricky shot. He had to create all of the pace, and I thought he was going to drill it, and what a lob.
In winning most of his points off the first serve in this set, 80%. And again, that's been a good play for him, that first serve to the Stan's forehand.
Yeah, Stan exclusively goes to the forehand chip on that, and you can attack him after that.
Zverev has a love 30 lead. He's just giving Murray all kinds of trouble in his service games.
He's going to the theory, better to laugh than cry. Just, you know, laughing up at his box. Can he? It's pain, though, what this guy Zverev has been able to do to him.
And a break point.
Interesting shadows down the middle of the court at the
Difficult.
moment, guys.
Yeah, very tricky for players.
Love 40 here.
Love 40.
Another break point well saved.
You guys have to be as stunned as we are by what we've seen here. Was Zverev just hanging right with Murray? Chance to get the lead in the third here.
Chris, I'm going to call it the Istomin effect. Evans, you know,
Let's
making
persevere.
lower ranked players feel like they can come up with the upset.
And John agrees with you.
Also, Chris, if I'm Andy Murray, I put the lob back in the holster. He must have hit 30 lobs so far in that match.
Not many of them very well.
Wait, please.
Oh, it's tough from Zverev to get the break and take the lead, 3-2. And you see that Wawrinka will try to force a tiebreak. Interesting stuff on these side-by-side courts. Back after this. Misha Zverev breaks Andy Murray for the 6th time in this match. They are exactly even, each with 98 points in the match, but now Zverev up a break in the third set as Wawrinka goes out and tries to serve that second set into a tiebreak. If you
Well,
look
that
at,
was the first when we did a double box, and they both went to, games ended
they're
at the
in
same
sync.
time. So that was far out. Zverev with a lead.
you guys were saying there've been no breaks in that second set.
Yeah, no breaks in the second set, and they were the first 3 break point opportunities that Stan had. So Stan has been holding serve very comfortably.
Murray extremely frustrated over here right now, even more so than earlier. Just trying to pepper Zverev, who's ready for it now.
There's a good lob from Murray finally, Brad.
It's amazing how many lobs that he's hit today, and so few of them have won. But that was a good time that he hit one in an offensive position.
Oh, he didn't make it. Goodness me.
We talked about Murray liking a target. He certainly had opportunities with Zverev attacking.
I think it's fascinating to watch him try to problem solve because he's tried so many different approaches to get the ball past him. The lobs, the dipping shots, as you said, peppering him.
Ace number 12 for Stan.
Another lob winner for Murray, and he has a break point. 2 in the game now.
That's what I expected to see from Murray. I mean, lethal off the lob. So did he. He's probably thinking it's about time.
Couple of game points for Stan still to take this into a tiebreak.
What a response to an angled return. Deuce here.
Well played. Well, we felt like Seppi was the slightly better player in that first set before going into tiebreak. Stan made a fast start, and the opposite here in the second. Stan's been the more confident player, so Seppi needs to make a good start in this tiebreak.
Yeah, you get the feeling that if Seppi has any chance to winning this match, he's got to win this second set breaker.
Mr. Zverev is changing the call on the right far side. The ball was called out.
Zverev will get an ace because that serve was just good. 1 millimeter.
Advantage Zverev.
This Istomin guy's causing headaches, not just for the number 2 seed.
And it's 4-2 for Zverev.
Zverev leads 4 games to 2.
good tennis again by Seppi. Boy, he loves the pace, and every time Stan explodes that forehand down the line, Seppi just steps up, uses the pace, and redirects beautifully off the backhand.
To me, from the vantage point we had, that was a perfect point where Seppi was the one on the baseline pushing Stan back. I actually think that he's starting to overdo the slice too much. It's not biting through the court, and Seppi is the one initiating a lot of these rallies.
First mini break to Seppi. You had told me before this match that Stan Wawrinka in the first 2 sets is going to win 80% of his first serve points and 72% of his second serve points. Would have thought he would have run through these first 2 sets easily because he's in all of the service games for Seppi, but goes to show you how much Seppi's improved his hold game.
Yeah, and Seppi hasn't broken since breaking the first game of the match. Stan broke him back early. Serve has been dominant in this match. But it's an interesting way the serve has been dominant. It hasn't been dominant with so many aces and service winners. It's been dominated by aggressive play from the server.
And also both guys getting quick starts in their service games. A lot of 15 and 30 loves very fast.
I was just going to say, there's a lot of close games, but how many times have we looked up and seen love 30? Barely any. That's just blistered. He throws that kick toss right there, Darren, so you feel like it's going to be a nasty kick to the backhand, and then he flattens it out. A lot of guys will do that serve more up the middle, the kick slice like Fed does. His best serve is that one to the backhand.
Well, that's the two things that Magnus Norman really identified when he started working with Stan, was to improve the forehand and to improve the serve, and he's done both of those things really well. He hasn't touched the backhand. He says the backhand is a thing of beauty and hasn't had to worry about that.
He's changed one thing, though. Remember how much more he used to pull the trigger down the line?
Shot selection?
Yeah. So not the stroke, but selection of that backhand.
Zverev has a small chance with a 15-30 in an Andy Murray service game, leading 4-2. And it's a big miss. You can't afford that at 3 points all in a tiebreak.
See, to me, a miss like that at 3-all on a second serve, you feel like now, if you're Stan, you must capitalize and at least get one of these two and get the mini break.
Over here, this set is getting away from Murray. He's got 2 break points to stare down. Zverev will be at 5-2.
Amazing. And Stan's just got himself into a little bit of a hole with his aggressive game.
And Chris, so much like in the Istomin match with Djokovic, after that third set, you thought he was done. Full credit to Zverev for, upping his game in this third set when you thought he would go away.
Exactly. And keep the energy up. Total contrast to your match. There have been 11 breaks over here. Make it 12.
In the head. That would really infuriate him. Being
Double break lead for Zverev in the third, guys.
Incredible.
Can you imagine what the draw would be like without Murray potentially at the top of the draw? Fed fans will not sleep tonight.
2 points to take a 2-set lead here for Wawrinka. Oh, he's got a good overhead, and he gets back very well for that one.
Exactly like we thought on that 3-all missed return. That could lead to a mini break, which Seppi gave, and quality point right there. Such a monster point here for a quick 2 sets to none lead. You want to just sprint to your chair, you get this point.
the one we haven't seen. That's the bread and butter shot, the backhand down the line, and it's good enough to give him a 2-set lead. And Andreas Seppi is down 2 sets to Nick Kyrgios 4 days ago, and he's going to have to do it again against Stan Wawrinka. Let's go straight back to Rod Laver Arena.
Well, Murray is going to have to come from 2 sets to 1 down unless he can somehow escape a double break disadvantage. Zverev getting the break there. Murray kind of spending the changeover, smiling kind of over at his camp. It's going through his head.
Sure, he's thrilled right now.
There was a hint of sarcasm in the smile.
Just a bit.
left.
I'm often asked about what's happened to the serve and volley. No one does it anymore. One of my answers, pat answers, you quicken the courts up, serve and volley becomes more effective.
They've done that.
Look at this guy.
Thank you.
2 points from a 2-set to 1 lead. What would be a massive surprise? Perhaps you'd say not in the level of Istvan over Djokovic because of Novak's dominance here, but not that far below it. If you're joining us late, you didn't hear the whole Misha Zverev story. We'll run that down for you in the next set. It's a pretty incredible story, and what he's doing here is pretty incredible. Been the much better player in the 3rd set. As the scoreline would suggest, Murray has won just 19 points now in the set.
He's temporarily tapped out, mentally. He's lost it, and he's doesn't have much time to get it back at this stage.
In the set, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. In the match, he's going to be he's 2 sets to 1 down. Better get it together now.
If Murray is going to win his first Australian Open title, he will have to battle from behind against a veteran who is having the afternoon of his life here in Rod Laver Arena. Well, if you're just joining us, Misha Zverev's story is very interesting. He's a guy that was born in Russia. His family moved to Germany. That's where his much more famous, higher-ranked younger brother, Sasha, who took Nadal to 5 sets in this court yesterday, he was born in Hamburg, but the family relocated. Short on cash, they had to try to get a foothold in a country they didn't speak the language. Sasha, here talking to Jez Green, the trainer, grew up in Germany. And Misha had some injury problems, a herniated disc. John, you were talking about. That's a tough injury for a tennis player. He's known Murray since they were 12-year-olds. They played in juniors, in the futures, U.S. Open, boys doubles, or boys of singles semis. So Andy knew his opponent's game was a tricky one, but he just didn't believe, I don't think, that Misha could execute it this well for this long. He played exactly 3 hours. Murray down 2 sets to 1 and 2 games to 1.
Well, as we saw with Istvan against Djokovic, Zverev looks fresh. The legs are got full of energy. He gets himself in great position, very well prepared when he's, particularly when he's up in net, and he's suffocating around that net.
15-0.
Can he keep his nerve? Will he be able to hold throughout this set? Doubtfully. There's going to be more plot twists, I have a feeling.
He's been able to break Murray's serve 8 times with unorthodox returns and aggressive positions, slapping forehand returns, giving Murray trouble, sometimes coming in behind them.
It's a turn for these two guys to have to deal with that shade moving across the court.
Got it. We've seen Murray fight back so often in all the big stages. You don't believe that upsets like this are going to happen until you actually see it in front of your face. That's sort of how I felt about Djokovic Itzman.
You still don't, even though you saw it with this, don't believe it's actually going to happen here. But these lower ranked guys have been pretty inspirational. It is the most, to me, unpredictable of the majors coming so early in the year.
He has got Murray so frustrated. And it's been building.
Well, that's not a huge serve. But he's gotten in Murray's head.
John, that is the 100th
40-30.
serve and volley point that Zverev has played in this match. 100.
How many has he won?
57 of them. Not a monster percentage, but he's kept with the tactic. Game point for 3-1. Zverev within 3 games of a second monster upset on this court, the Australian Open this year. Many people wanted to hand Murray the trophy just about after Djokovic was knocked out. He became solid odds makers favorite.
You watch Roger Federer play the other night and you're thinking, man, okay, I want to see that quarter with Murray, because he was playing outstanding, and now we're more concerned of whether or not Murray's going to be there.
Federer fans would like to see that quarter against Zverev.
He'd like to see the quarter period.
15-0.
A reminder that Federer and Nishikori play on this court, a match scheduled for about an hour 5 minutes from now, and the winner there to meet the winner of this one.
Well, that's only going to happen if this ends in 4 sets.
I said scheduled.
Exactly. Yeah.
No doubt Roger and Kay could have gotten here, done their warm-ups in the locker room, doing their stretching, keeping a close eye perhaps on the television.
So. Roger, I saw in the locker room before the Burdick match, is just, he'll talk to people in there until 10 minutes before he goes on the court. Hamming it up. Definitely watching.
$30-15.
Don't forget, we've mentioned it earlier, but not for a while, that it is hot out there. These guys have been battling for a long time. Temperature now, let's get the temperature 83 degrees. So, okay.
Hope warmer than that on the court. They're glad the shade is coming across, I think.
For sure.
What a stab volley from Murray, and it just crawls over the net.
Zverev has changed sneakers, I believe, on 2 different occasions. Numerous sock changes. Forget the shirt. Kick save and a beauty. Just stick the racket out. You never know. Oh, I planned that. Yeah. So the ball would bounce back into the net.
Murray closes it out with his 10th ace. Can he find a way to break the German veteran, avoid a huge upset here? Andy Murray's not #1 for no reason. He's been incredibly consistent. He had a 28-match winning streak, finally snapped by Djokovic in a very tight final in Doha. But in the last 14 events that he's played, he's reached the final in 13 of them. The exception was the U.S. Open, beating by Nishikori in the quarters. But talking about titles in Rome, Queens, Wimbledon, gold medal in Rio, Beijing, Shanghai, Vienna, Paris, and the year-end championship in London. So he begins his 2017 campaign in earnest on an incredible run of consistency, avoiding shocks like this.
He needed every one of those to attain the #1 ranking. And you've got to think, to some degree, that's taken its toll on him. Emotionally and physically. Not a whole lot of time to regroup, enjoy the moment, and get ready for this tournament. Very little, as a matter of fact.
This guy's unorthodox game again, a game that we figured Murray was pretty well equipped to deal with. Lefty, serve and volley, here comes to the net. He's seen that a lot in his career and dealt with it often just like that.
Jamie resorted to his brother to just being a doubles player because he got sick of watching that return on his serve.
He's going to have to come up with some more superb returns to stay in this.
Called out. Will he challenge? Apparently not.
John, if you face what Murray's facing, I guess you'd what? Take it
30-15.
That framed way into the seats, by the way. You take it one step. First, you got to find a way to break. Then break again or win the set in a tie break. And then after that, worry about the fifth set.
Well, of course. You know, what you don't want to do is not make him work each and every point. You know, make him earn it, which he didn't do on that serve, obviously.
When will the nerves show up for Zverev, or will they? Will he be able to do what Istomin did, which is show unreal poise in the latter stages, the big moments against Djokovic? So few are able to do that.
Well, the mere fact that Istomin did it will make him think, I got a better shot at doing it. There's no question. Won't be quite as intimidated or overwhelmed.
He's within 2 games. You see Sasha there in the upper right. He had Nadal up 2-1. Rafa toughed out the 4th and then made it physical in the 5th. And now it's the older brother by 10 years in a winning position if he can just stay the course. It's getting late for Murray.
Yeah, sure is. It's amazing to see the top 2 seeds be dealt with in this fashion.
Let's first service.
I mean, Istomin was 0-5 against Djokovic. The one time Murray played Zverev, he beat him 2-2.
Watch this guy's game, John. You wonder how in the world did he win 2 games against Nadal in Brisbane in the tune-up. That's one factor when you you analyze his chances at this event or this matchup, well, he was no match for Rafa, and you'd figure that he might give Nadal more trouble with his game than Murray.
That's what you would have thought. Maybe the other side of the coin is that Rafa's playing better than we thought.
It could be. Remind you again, if you join us a bit late, that Misha Zverev had 1 foot out the door against John Isner. Stared down 2 match points against the big American. They were on his own serve. He says he forgot the score. He says he wasn't even sure, as he's playing match points, that it was match point. That's what he claims.
Challenge.
But house money for this guy. A lot to admire about his story of perseverance as a journeyman.
He's old enough to appreciate it more than if he was a kid. That's the best part.
30-15.
All those trials and tribulations, the injuries, looked like it was over for him. Now he's here.
The brother dynamic is so interesting too, because in recent years, as the hype is built, it's Sasha, future #1. He's going to win majors, and nobody was thinking about Misha. This guy was the overlooked but proud, much older brother. Now he's having his moment. Zverev seems very calm, doesn't he? You got to be feeling something inside. But he looks cool out there.
Yeah. Unless he's some type of alien, he is.
Pretty strong service game from Murray. But he's only got 2 chances left to break Zverev and stay alive.
4 games to 3.
If Murray loses, John, it'll be the first time in more than almost 13 years. The 04 French Open, the top 2 men's seeds don't even reach the final 8. Roddick was seeded second, lost early. Federer was out in the 3rd round, and that was the year at Roland Garros. So they had that crazy twists and turns. Gaudio over Coria in the final with the cramping and the comebacks.
Gaston Gaudio with a major title.
But we've seen such dominance from the top guys, the quote-unquote Big 4 over the years, always going deep into majors. And that has been shattered a bit by Istvan and could be completely crushed by Misha Zverev if he can hold serve 2 more times.
Those B and C locker rooms are going to be, their heads are going to be walking a lot higher, I'll tell you, if he can hold here this next 2 games.
That's where the lower seeded players change. Is it easier to hold your nerve, John, when your tactics are fairly straightforward? He knows he's going to come forward every time he serves, basically.
I don't think so. Not easy, period. Never been here before.
Not easy to execute, but at least he pretty much knows he's going to come forward. It's just deciding which serve to hit.
True. That's true. Deciding what to do with those low volleys.
I would never suggest executing that would be easy under pressure.
No, nothing's easy right now. Either. That's why we love to turn on a great sporting event.
Now he's starting to show some fire.
Yeah.
Murray's going to challenge. I don't think so.
That one he's standing over on the deuce court.
Well inside the box.
40-15. Mr. Murray has one challenge remaining. Let's first service.
Long. Oh my goodness.
You cannot be.
Encouragement for his little brother. That was a shocking miss. We haven't seen very many of these today.
I think we've seen any of these today.
Buried in the bottom of the net. Not a good lob at all.
That's tough to overcome. This shows some toughness so you can get the hole here.
Thank you.
Serving with his pants down right now. Oh, yeah, that's good effort. Great effort. He won't, it will be a non-issue potential. He holds, it won't matter even if he were to lose this. Get through that is big. That's it. Well done.
He shakes off his worst shot of the match, comes back strong, and within a game, the biggest, sweetest, least expected moment of his career.
That is some serious mental toughness to shrug that off.
5-3.
He pulled his pants up, I think. To use your metaphor.
Well, good point.
And now Murray must hold to force this guy to try to serve it out, or he will make his most disappointing exit at the Australian Open ever. Oh, what stuff from this guy.
Superman. The Zverev brothers may be dominating on the tennis circuit for a while. The way this is looking.
Below 15.
That was a moral victory for some, for the younger brother yesterday, even in defeat. This is a serious career-changing victory. Zverev can win 3 more points. No, it stays on his side.
15-0.
Tighten up on that one, but I'll tell you one thing. This guy, Zverev, moves really well. God, does he cover the court.
30-15.
Played 323.
I mean, he is moving just slick. That heart rate must be about 200 right now. And wait if he doesn't break here, what it's going to be like on the changeover.
Time the net court goes his way. Zverev within 2 points. Biggest serve of the match for Murray.
40-13.
132.
Looked like he was about at the service line when he hit the return. He was just on it in a heartbeat. Look at him. Look where he's standing. That is just an awesome return.
The Murray second serve has been punished throughout.
Advantage, Murray. Let's service. Yeah, the one over there. It is.
You can see it there.
He's talking about the mark.
One out.
Chair rule got a fault. Murray's not going to challenge. He should. He should have challenged. The serve was in.
He told the guy it wasn't the mark, but he didn't challenge.
No idea why he wouldn't use a challenge there.
He would have gotten the first serve, and the guy couldn't have been able to just move in quickly.
That could be important.
Advantage Murray.
Good. Able to come up with some superb passing shots. And now, John, 29-year-old Misha Zverev, you hope and you dream and you work to be in a position like this. One more sit down, serve it out, beat the #1 player in the world.
He worked really hard, exceptionally hard, to try to get that break there. He did a pretty darn good job of keeping some major pressure on Murray. Understandably, with his resume, he was able to rise to the occasion. This is a long changeover, and you're getting really back to some serious basics here. What do I do with my first serve? Please get that first serve in. Give me an easy couple points, first couple points of this game, because there's a whole lot of things going through his mind right now, and it is almost impossible to keep calm.
Murray, meanwhile, trying to problem solve. He's usually so good in that department, but he has been frustrated searching for answers against this guy's unusual game today.
The tendencies for guys that haven't been there before is to, overhit, go a little bigger, try to win some easy points with an ace. Not stick to the 1-2 punch. We'll see what Zverev does here. He's tall enough where he can, get a serve out wide and maybe get a couple aces. He's only had 7 the entire match. None in this set. So he's sort of relied on his, steady play, his go-to play.
Guy who's been a journeyman. He needed to qualify to get into most of these big events. On the brink.
Love 15.
That's a heck of an overhead. Heck of an overhead there.
15 over. 15-13.
Oh, boy. Wow. How did he get that?
That was his biggest show of emotion all day, right there after that volley.
He thought the point was over right there, but luckily for him, he got back in a ready position.
Match point, Misha Zverev.
14-13. Thank you.